Korea's consumer price index rose for the third straight month in January, climbing above the 2% mark for the first time in 5 months due to international oil prices and the won-dollar exchange rate.
1월 국내 소비자 물가 지수가 국제유가 및 원달러 환율 영향으로 5개월 만에 2% 넘게 상승하면서 3개월 연속 오름세를 나타냈습니다. Tell us more, Ray.
Well, Statistics Korea said on Wednesday that the country's consumer price index rose by 2.2% compared to a year earlier. And this actually marks the largest year-over-year increase since July of last year when the index rose 2.6%. Now, Korea's inflation has remained below 3% since April and below the central bank's 2% target since September. However, as we see the 3 straight months of rising costs now. And what is that being attributed to? Mainly rising energy prices, as well as the depreciation of the Korean won. Yeah, and depreciation relative to the US dollar.
자, 원달러 환율의 영향이라고만 헤드라인에 나와 있지만 사실상 이제 원화가 약하죠. 달러가 강세를 보이고 있고 그럴 때는 depreciation이라는 단어를 써서 가치가 하락했다. 반대는 appreciation이라는 말이 있는데 그때는 이제 가치가 올랐을 때 쓰는 말이고요. Of course, in this case, I don't know if you would say because of the appreciation of the US dollar, but I mean, the strong US dollar, right?
This is kind of the one confusing thing about currencies is you can only ever compare two currencies. You can compare baskets of currencies as well, but in this case, the US dollar appreciated against the won. The won depreciated against the dollar because you're only comparing those two currencies.
그럼 상대적으로 말할 때는 원달러에 비해서 그 원달러가 아니죠. 원화에 비해서 미달러가 가치가 상승했다. 이렇게 말할 수 있겠네요. So the US dollar has appreciated against the Korean won. 반대로 the Korean won has depreciated against the US dollar. 그런 영향도 있고요. Energy prices, 유가, 국제 유가가 굉장히 높기 때문에 그것도 역시 하나의 요인이 되겠습니다.
In January, petroleum product prices jumped 7.3%. Again, the largest year-over-year increase since July.
Yeah, exactly. Let's look at the expression to climb above something.
Climb above something. Well, we can look at it in the literal sense. If you're rock climbing or mountain climbing, you might climb above something.
Sure.
Or if you're climbing a tree, for example. But in this case, it's more figurative. So we're talking about rising or moving higher. Again, there's always that climbing above something. We're moving up. So we're talking about a rate going above some level or some limit. In this case, we're looking at that 2% mark.
Yeah.
That threshold.
Were you a tree climber as a kid?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
No, I wasn't very good.
Okay. For some reason, I don't know, I pictured you climbing up trees and
I wanted to
building a tree
always,
house.
but my friend and I had a tree house.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it was cool. But we had like a ladder that climbed up, like, we could get up into it.
Of course. Yeah. climb이라는 게 이렇게 뭔가를 타 오른다. 나무를 타고 올라가는 것도 climbing을 쓰고요. 그다음에 우리가 암벽 등반할 때도 climbing을 쓸 수 있는데 자, 여기서는 수치입니다. 숫자가 올라갔어요. 그때도 동사 climb을 쓸 수가 있는 거죠. So many different verbs are used in business news to talk about going up.
Right, and climbing above something, like you can use that for anything. You can talk about the temperatures climbing, temperature climbed above a certain level. You can talk about sales and business climbing above. And again, we're always talking about certain levels. You climb above something, what is it? It's a target, an estimate. So this is earnings season in a lot of companies are giving their earnings from Q4. So a lot of times the companies that they beat the street's expectations, they climbed above estimates. Now their stock prices all go up after, usually.
아하, 그래요. 이게 climb above something이라고 하면은 요 기준치를 넘어섰다라는 뜻이 되겠죠. 자, 2%를 넘어선 소비자 물가를 말하고 있습니다. 지난 몇 개월 동안 계속 1%대였거든요. 마지막으로 2%를 기록했던 게 지난 8월, 그리고 2% 넘었던 거는 7월입니다. 2.6%인데 그다음에 이제 좀 낮은 소비자 물가 추이를 보이다가 이번에 다시 또 올라갔어요. What about the $1 exchange rate?
So here we're looking at the amount of won it costs per dollar. So when this rate increases, that actually means the won is depreciating.
Yeah.
So now, so I looked back, earlier this year, it would cost about 1,300 won for $1. Now you're looking at sort of like 1,400 or even like what 50 won. Like, so it's going, now it costs you more won to buy $1. You can flip it. You could look at the dollar won exchange rate and that would be falling, meaning now it costs you less US dollars to buy the same amount of Korean currency.
그래요. 우리는 이제 보통 $1 환율로 얘기를 하죠. 1달러가 이제 몇 원인지. 그래서 그 1,400에서 지금 한 대략 1,450 정도로 올랐기 때문에 이건 이제 원화의 가치가 떨어졌다라고 해석을 할 수 있는 거죠. 자, 그럼 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. Korea's consumer price index rose for the third straight month in January, climbing above the 2% mark for the first time in 5 months due to international oil prices and the $1 exchange rate. Let's move on to the next headline.